Hi guys, today is going to be a quick video, but a lot of you had asked me how I digitize my sewing patterns. I use Clo3D to digitize my sewing patterns. I know there are several other CAD softwares that other people use, but this is my preferred method because I use Clo3D for other things as well, not just digitizing. So I'm going to show you my exact workflow when I need to digitize my patterns. By the way, guys, this is not going to be a tutorial on Clo3D, the software itself, but maybe you pick up some extra tips, you know, or maybe you get inspired to use the software. I love Clo3D. I think it's a very useful tool. Okay, I already have a pattern prepared. I'm actually working on a nice draped shirt, and I'm going to digitize the front draped panel with you. I picked this piece because it has a little bit more details than like a basic block, so I just thought maybe, you know, it would be useful to cover a little bit more details. Okay, so this is the pattern piece that I want to digitize. It has like all sorts of pleats and arrows and other things. This is actually going to be the back panel. Sorry, it was not the front, it's the back panel of my shirt. And first of all, you want to make sure that you marked everything that is necessary. You have the seam lines marked, you have your grain line marked as well. Just make sure that it's somewhat of a clean pattern so you can actually follow the lines. However, I have to say that sometimes I actually digitize my calico pieces, but you just need to make sure that it's correct. Okay, so first of all, what I like to do is draw a 2 by 2 rectangle on my pattern. By the way, I'm working in centimeters. It doesn't have to be a 2 by 2, it could be a 3 by 3 or a 10 by 10 rectangle. And this is what it's going to be. It's basically your measurement reference, because when you bring your image into Clo3D, it's not going to be the correct size. You're going to have to scale it, and this rectangle is your point of reference. Okay, so next you want to find a flat surface. I mean, this paper is already quite nice and flat, but there are some edges that kind of curling up. So I usually use a piece of tape and just tape it down at certain places. Okay, once we have that, we are going to have to take a picture, and I'm going to show you how your camera view should look like. Okay, so you might need to step on a chair to get the right angle, but you can also place the patterns on the floor. So most smartphones have a built-in camera alignment guide. So when shooting directly above your pattern, look for crosshairs or level indicators in the camera view. When the indicators align or change color, the phone is perfectly parallel to the surface, and then you can take a picture. So I have Clo3D open. By this time I emailed the image to myself and saved it in a folder on my computer. Just make sure you know where it is. Next step would be when you open the Clo3D and you want to go to this polygon and long hold click on it and then go to a rectangle. And then I usually just draw with left click, I just draw a fairly biggish rectangle. Okay, so once you have the rectangle, you want to bring your image onto this rectangle. And so the way we are going to do it, as if we were adding a graphic to this fabric piece. So on the right hand side, there is an icon that says graphic 2D pattern. So you just click on it, left. It's going to open your folders, and so I have this folder open now, and there is my image that I just took. I'm just gonna click OK, bring it in, but at this point it's not there, so it just created like this little t-shirt icon with the arrow now. So you want to click on the pattern to add the graphic. So yeah, left click once, and then this is going to bring it up, and then you just say OK. Right, so we have our image. Actually, I made this rectangle really big, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because now we're just gonna zoom in. And here is our image. Now you want to go on the right hand side to the icon that says internal polygon line. Okay, and once we have that, we're going to start drawing around our seam line. So I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to start drawing around. When an area is curved, you make sure that it's curved. And you have to make sure that at this moment, you only care about the outer line. So don't start adding any internal lines, no arrows, nothing. When you get to a point like this where it wants to curve, just press enter. Okay, and then you can carry on, just go on to the last point that you just finished, and you just carry on. Okay, I'm gonna speed this up now, so I'm just going to finish the outer line. Okay, so once you finished, you join the last line into your starting point, and now the next step is actually very important. So I'm sure you can see these dots. You see these dots and this dot. So when your dot is filled, that means that your line is connected. When your dot is empty, like there is a white bit in the middle, that means it's not connected. For us to successfully cut this pattern piece out of this rectangle, all the dots needs to be connected, and I always do it at this step, because as soon as you start adding other lines, it's going to get very confusing. So as soon as you finish the outer line, you should do this step. So the way it's done is you go onto the dot that is not filled, you do a right click, and then it says join overlapping points. So just click on that, and then it's joined. And then you repeat for any other ones that you have. Okay, so once you have that, we can start adding some details. So I want to mark my grain line. That's very important that you do that. Clo3D automatically assigns a grain line. When you create a pattern in the 2D pattern window, I'm going to show you. So you go to edit texture, which is on the right hand side, just right here, edit texture, and that's the assigned grain line to your pattern. Even though you can't see the grain line when you're editing the pattern, when you export it into another CAD software, it will be visible. So make sure it's set correctly. I usually draw it manually as well in case I forget to set it. Okay, so once you have your grain line, you would want to add any other information that you want. When you finish drawing a line, just press enter. Okay, so I'm just going to add my fold lines. So I'm just going to speed up the video again. Okay, so now I've drawn all my fold lines. I'm just going to add my arrows. Okay, so now I have all the arrows added. So I want to add my notches now. So on the right hand side, there is the icon for the notch. So just click on notch, and I'm just gonna mark a notch on the line where the notch is. Okay, so I don't really like to add a notch in a corner like this because when I add a notch, it just gives it like a weird angle. You can, however, adjust the angle of a notch, but that would mean that I would need to be, guessing and playing around with the degrees on each corner, and I'm just like, I don't like to do that. You're more than welcome to do it if you want. The option is there. But what I do is I would maybe, you know, pull this a little bit longer, and then I know that there needs to be a notch there. Okay, I'm not gonna do it for all of the folds right now, but you get the point. Okay, so once you have all the notches marked and all the notches present, we still need to draw this rectangle. So you want to go from this corner. Obviously, we are just drawing a rectangle. And it's not very far off, because right now it's 3.3 centimeters. Okay, so once you have that, you want to select all of the outer lines. So you start selecting, and then with shift, holding the shift, just keep adding the lines. And just make sure that you select the outer lines only. Okay, once everything is selected, you want to go close to the line and then right click and select cut. And this happens sometimes. It just means that maybe I selected the wrong line, or one of the lines are not joined. So I'm gonna have to find the mistake now. Okay, so it seems like there was the corner here that it wasn't joined. Okay, anyway, so we go close and we click on cut. And now it separated it from this rectangle. So if you go to the right hand side and click on transform pattern, which is going to be the first icon, then you can actually click and hold with the left click, and then you can just zoom out and you can just pull this to the side. And now you can click on this big rectangle and just click on backspace on your keyboard, and then it's deleted. Okay, so now that we have this, we can also delete the original image. You want to go to the right and click on transform graphic, click in the middle of the pattern, and then the whole image is going to come up, and you want to do backspace and just delete it. And now you're left with only the pattern piece that you just digitized. And then just go to transform pattern, left and hold click, select the whole thing, and I'm just gonna go just a tiny bit down in scale. If you'd like to do calculations and calculate exactly how much to shrink, you're more than welcome to. I like to play around and just get there. Okay, so now we have the rectangle. I'm going to check. It's gonna be 2.1, 2 cm, 2.2, 19.9. This is okay. Couple of mils here and there on this rectangle, it's fine. Okay, so now we have our pattern piece digitized and it's up to scale. And then from this point on, you can actually mock up in 3D if you want, when you have like all of the pattern pieces present, or maybe you want to do some adjustments. I mean, Clo3D is a pattern cutting software, so you have a lot of tools available. You can also add your seam allowances if you want, which is very easy to do. You can adjust any seam allowance you want to do. You can change the angle, etc. I'm not going to do the whole thing now. And at this point you can also delete this rectangle because you're not going to need it anymore. But this is it. And if you want to export this, you can also export it as a PDF, as an Adobe PDF, and then you can just print it how you would normally print it. So if you don't have a plotter, however, it does have a plotter function, but you can just print it with your home printer as a tiled print. Okay guys, this is it. This is how I digitize my patterns. I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, just pop it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.